How do you guys know whether or not a tenant is good or not? There's 5 characteristics of a good tenant versus a bad tenant. 5 that I know of at least, and you could say them differently. Who are tenants that you should try to remove? Name some.
Drug dealers.
Drug dealers is kind of a generic class, but fine. Breaking lease, we'll call that one. People that perennially break your lease. They're not respecting your property.
People that don't pay.
People that are perennially late, you're going to end up having to evict them. So lease breaks and people that don't pay are 2. There's 3 more.
Those who call a lot.
What?
Those who call a lot.
So you could say people that complain, but that's a fine line because maybe there really is a need to complain. But people that don't respect you or the vendors that you put in. Okay? What else do we have? People that are hoarders. They need to go, right? You might not be breaking a lease, but if you're starting to hoard and stuff, guess what? They will pay their rent on time. They will pay their rent on time because they don't want to be moved out, right? Drug dealers, same thing, right? And so that's the thing about it. And I think I say that somewhere else on here. No news in property management and real estate is no news. If a person is a drug dealer, do you think that they want you to come into their house? No. They're going to make no issue about anything, right? I had a drug dealer in a property once. He did an amazing job renovating a property so he could put in a false wall behind a window. It was amazing. I called my brother. I was like, wasn't there a wall? He's like, yeah. I had to send him videos and stuff, and I had to show people in that one, how do you take the door out? Because we weren't going to renovate it. He did such a good job. It was amazing. And you see this stuff all the time in property management. So no news is no news. So we said if you don't pay rent on time, ultimately you're going to be evicted. Raise their rent to try to get them out or evict them because it's inevitably going to happen. Second is lease violations. If they don't respect your lease and respect your property, they have to go. Third is hoarding. If they're hoarding, trust me, it gets way worse before it gets better. It never gets better. The fourth is how well they tolerate you and your vendors. And the fifth is possibly the most important, how well they tolerate other tenants. Guess who leaves? The good tenant that you want staying or the bad tenant that harasses the other tenant? It almost becomes sport for them. I'm going to get them out. Watch. And they just have this battle of wills. It's actually amazing. It's really amazing. So the question is, are you analytical problem solving? Do you think like that? Do you think, okay, the solution is not to evict, the solution is to raise their rent. The solution is to profile them. Is there anything wrong with me deciding after I've rented a property that this tenant is terrible? Am I discriminating against them? No, I have the facts. They're terrible, right? I literally write notes down, Your Honor. Here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this, right? Now, here's the other thing about the law. So I've had situations, and people always talk about, bad tenants, and, we go into the situation, don't deal with it, right? I never said that my job title is dealing with interpersonal problems between tenants. That's the job of police. I will say, when you talk to tenants and you say, look, if this is really a problem, call the police. And I will tell them, look, if you don't get a police report, you're not going to be able to do anything with it, right? If you were to try to evict a tenant and you say, Your Honor, this person's a nuisance, the judge is going to say, prove it. And you'll say, Your Honor, I have a bunch of complaints. And the other person will say, Your Honor, that's all false. No, there's no complaints. And you'll say, Your Honor, yes, there's complaints. And they'll say, no, it's not complaints. And what's going to happen is they're going to win. So you need to get police reports. Every time there's issues, get a police report, write it down. If you need to go to evictions, now you have extra evidence. This is the whole problem solving. So